Hi there. So, for a while, I've been promising that I'd produce some short videos, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, of things that you could do if you're short on time but want to put some practice in. So, here is my first one. I'm going to base it on a yoga for cycling plan because it activates lots of different areas of the body that would tighten if you're a cyclist, but you don't have to be a cyclist to do it. So we're going to begin. I've got my blanket rolled into a sausage shape, and we're going to begin with this top chest opener and thoracic spine release. So I'm going to ease myself onto this blanket. I'm coming down onto the floor. The blanket in its roll, or a thick towel would be fine as well, is going to actually be placed across the back of my rib cage. So around about where the bra strap goes, if you're a female. You're going to slide back and you're going to ease yourself over that blanket. So I'm extending out. Now I can either extend my legs out into a full body stretch, or I can bring my legs into semi-supine. I personally prefer my legs extended. My arms are going to take a car arm position. So that means the elbows are bent, the backs of the arms and the shoulders are lengthening and connected to the floor, the backs of the hands, and also the backs of the wrists. Now you may find that getting the backs of the wrists down is quite challenging, and that's okay. If that's happening to you, just slide the arms out to a V shape so that the backs of the arms and the wrists are connected, or even to a T shape. It's all going to depend on what is going on in the thoracic spine and your shoulders. Once you've found that little extension, we're going to spend a couple of moments here just allowing ourselves to concentrate on the breath. I'm just breathing in through my nose and breathing out through my nose. And because my legs are extended, I've got about 10% of my core. I've got a little bit of lift in my front pubis, so it's not just flopping my legs out to the side. I've got a little bit of activity in the inner thighs. So I'm not in a shavasana position. I'm in just a gently toned position through my core and into my legs. And each time I breathe out, I'm going to add in a little knitting of the rib cage, which will feel a little bit awkward with the blanket at the back of the thoracic spine, but pop it in anyway, breathing in, allowing the ribs to expand, and as you breathe out, knitting the rib cage together. We'll take about 6 breaths like that. We've got this space, supported space emerging through the back of the shoulder blades. Let's take 2 more breaths. Always allowing the face to be relaxed and to feel the heaviness across the top to the back of the shoulders. From here, I'm going to release out of this position by breathing in, and as I exhale, sliding my right heel to my sit bone and then my left. And then just gently, with normal breathing, rolling over to one side so that I can prop myself up and remove the blanket from underneath the back of my shoulders. Then I'm going to ease myself back down to the floor, feeling that softness at the back of my shoulder blades. And from here, introducing a very subtle pelvic tilt. So I can put my hands on my belly here, so that as I exhale this time, instead of focusing on the rib cage, I'm going to focus on the lower belly. And that's going to allow my spine to lengthen. So I'm breathing into the belly. I'm not ignoring the rib cage, so I can still add in that little bit of release of the rib cage as well, but focusing mainly on the space below the waist. And that's going to draw me into a pelvic tilt. Breathing out to allow the hands just to be dropped into the belly as the spine lengthens, and then breathing in to feel the expansion of the belly. And this is just going to allow the movement to continue into my pelvis. And because we are focusing a little bit of cycling, I'm going to bring in a little bit of cycling. So the next time I exhale, I'm going to release through my belly, and I'm going to release my arms, draw my left knee to the chest, and extend that left heel to the ceiling. I'm going to take a full rotation in my legs. I'm going to point the toes, and initially I'm just going to bend the knee. Bring the knee to the chest, point the toes. Breathing in, extend the heel to the ceiling. Breathing out, point the toes, bend the knee to the chest. Now remember, if you're feeling that your head is tipping up, so if the chin's tipping up to the ceiling, especially when you connect to the back of the hamstring here, always remember you can pop a blanket or a block behind the head just to give it a little bit of support. Next time I bend the knee to the chest, I'm going to flex the foot and extend on the inhale the left leg along the floor. Exhaling as it finishes into the extension. Then I'm going to breathe in and draw a lovely arc with the leg. So I'm sliding it towards the chest. And I'm just going to add on at the end of the exhale, at the end of the inhale, as I breathe out, I'm going to clasp my hands behind the thigh and bring my knee to the chest, keeping the leg extended. Breathing in here, lengthening through the heel, keeping the back of the sacrum on the floor, bending the knee, exhale. Let's take that heel along the floor again. Maybe you can do a full inhale, heel all the way along the floor, and then lift into an arc. Up above, keep the legs straight, extended. As you exhale, invite the leg into the chest, clasping the hands either behind the thigh or even behind the shin. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, bend the knee into the chest. Okay, let's do one more time like that. Breathing in, extend the heel along the line of the floor. Lift the leg. As the leg comes towards the chest, breathe out. And maybe take a couple of breaths now, just holding that position. Breathing in to lengthen through the heel. Breathing out to soften at the hip and invite the leg a little bit closer to the chest. Ideally, the leg should be extended, but not everybody can, they don't need to lock the knee out, so not everybody can fully extend the leg. So just do your best, feel that reach into the heel. Next time you bend the knee to the chest, exhale. Place that left ankle outside the front of the right thigh. Slide the arms out to shoulder height and pop in my favorite twist, sending both legs to the right in this eye of the needle position and placing the left foot either onto a block or onto the floor. I'm just going to spin round so that I can show you that. Same movement. And legs are going to go to the right, and either the left foot's going to come down to the floor with the left knee to the ceiling, or you can have a support there, block or brick, which just gives that leg a little bit more space. Couple of breaths. And then breathing in to ease back to the center. From there, you're going to release the left leg first, extend it along the floor, and then release the right leg to join it. Hopefully that left leg's going to feel a little bit longer. So as I reach my fingertips up to the sky, I'm going to lengthen my spine to the floor. I'm going to breathe out, keep the back of my spine and the back of the waist on the floor, reach my arms alongside of the ears, and then take a full stretch all the way through the left side, through the fingertips and through the toes. I'm then going to replicate that stretch to the best of my ability through the right side, which is going to feel a little bit more restricted. Let's do it again to the left. We usually call this a cosmic ladder climbing. And as you do it to the left, slide the right knee up to the chest and give it a lovely squeeze. Apanasana position. Good. From there, I'm going to release, keep that right knee to the chest and slide the left foot into semi-supine. From there, fingertips on the right knee, and I'm going to ease forward and back, taking that right side through pelvic tilt. Then from there, right knee comes to the chest as you exhale. Inhale, release it, heel to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, point the toes. Take that a couple more times. You're just warming up for the hamstring movement. Good stuff. Okay, adding on, bend the knee, this time flex the foot. Slide that right heel out along the floor. Inhaling. If you need to put an exhale in at the end of the heel stretch, that's fine. And then inhale, slide that right leg to the chest. And as you exhale, invite the leg closer to the chest, clasping the hands around either the thigh or the back of the shin. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, slide the heel along the floor. Now you know what you're doing. You can maybe do that in one inhale. Bring the leg in an arc above the head. And as you exhale, invite the leg to the chest. I'm going to hold onto my shin this time. I'm going to bend the knee on the exhale and take one more time. Inhaling. Create the arc. Exhaling, invite the leg, and then just hold that for a few breaths. Reaching up through the heel on the inhale, soften it into the hip on the exhale, inviting the leg close to the chest. Excellent. On the next exhale, bend the knee to the chest, and this time extend the right knee out to the side and place the right ankle on the front of the left thigh, sliding the arms up to shoulder height, twisting, sending both legs over to the left. Ideally placing the right foot to the floor with the right knee pointing to the sky or the right foot onto a support. So holding that there for a few moments. Slide all the way back to the center. Release the right knee to the chest again and then extend the right leg out. Join the left. Yeah, we've got that same feeling. So the right side's going to feel longer. So breathing in, take both arms up to the ceiling, soften the shoulders. Both arms up the head. Reach through the right side. And then to the left. To the right. arming that cosmic ladder to the left. And this time as you reach through the right, you're going to slide that left heel along the floor, eventually ending up with the left knee to the chest. From there, bringing both knees to the chest and just drawing some circles in the air with the knees, legs together. Circling in the opposite direction. Here, you're going to roll all the way over and bring yourself up onto all fours and just pop in some cat-cows. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Now the tight bit is going to be to try and keep the hands grounded into the floor, imagining you drawing the heels of the hands to the knees and lengthening the chest or the nipples forward. You feel as though you're drawing the shoulder blades in towards the back. And then as you exhale, reach into the hands, draw the chin to the chest, nip the rib cage, lift that lower belly, activate the back of the body through the front. The front body lifts up, allows the back body to open. Okay, let's do that a couple of times. Slide the heels of the hands towards the knees. Reach. And then into your angle cat. Reach. And into angle cat. This time, come to neutral cat. Keep the knees underneath the hips. Walk the arms forward and release the forehead to the floor into melting heart, sometimes called up puppy. So forehead to the floor, stage 1, stage 2, chest to the floor. Well, that can involve a little bit of chin. Deep breaths. Here, ease yourself forward onto the front of your tummy and just for a moment or two rest the head on the hands. From here, we're going to slide into recovery position. So I'm going to shift my left leg out to the side, activating into my hip. The left knee more or less in line with the hip, left foot in line with the left knee. From here, I'm going to turn my head to the right, but I'm going to keep my right side activated. And to make sure that I do, I'm just going to tuck my toes under, reach into the right heel, lifting my knee and my thigh off the floor, but keeping the toes on the floor. Then I'm going to relax that, but make sure the top of my foot, the top of the ankle, stays on the floor. Now I'm going to take this a little bit deeper. So I want us to do a bit of a sciatic stretch here. So as I turn my head back to the centre, I'm going to release my left leg out in line with my right leg. At the same time, I'm going to extend my right arm forward. So bring the head back onto the back of the hand, reach that left leg out alongside of the right, but keep it lifted. Exhale, press into the left hand, extend the right arm and the left leg into a lovely half locust position. Reaching through the fingertips, reaching through the toes. And then release. Let's do exactly the same thing on the opposite side. Sliding the right leg out in line with the hip. Just to make sure we're connected to the front of the left leg, we're going to tuck the toes under, lift the
thigh and the knee from the floor. And then relax the toes, but keep the top of the thigh, the knee and the front of the foot on the floor. Turn the head to the left, easing out with a couple of breaths. And then from there, as the head turns back to the center, let the left arm extend forward. So one foul swoop, using the out breath. Press down into the right hand, extend the left leg out behind, reach the right arm forward, find that half locust position. Release, rest the head, take a lovely rock from side to side with the hips. And then from there, finish off, hands by the floating ribs, rounding the back in your angry cat position before reaching the sit bones towards the heels and taking a few moments into either extended child or bend at the elbows and bring the hands to prayer before bringing the thumbs into the nape of the neck. If that's not possible, feel free to place one fist on top of the other underneath the forehead and rest into your polar bear position. Thank you very much for your time. Gathering the energy and then sealing the practice down through the third eye to the lips and the throat and the heart. Well done.